Hi, this is Mike Furchess, your host today for Real People, Real Life. I got some of the audience giving me a hard time. We have our guest over here, Mike Vermillion, and then over here, Gary McCann, and we're talking about motorcycle safety, motorcycling, and so forth. And going back into the last segment of the show, some things that we want to talk about, I think, had to do with one of the people in the audience mentioned conditioning, making sure that you're capable of holding up a motorcycle and so forth.
Correct. So one of the things that in our class, we provide the motorcycles at Motorcycle Rider Education.
They're all the same size, the same type of bike?
Yeah, they're all 125s, 250cc, so they're all right around that 300, 325 pound range. One of the things that we talk about when you're riding a motorcycle, you have to be physically able to handle that motorcycle. And we talk to people quite a bit and will recommend motorcycle sizes to them when they finish the class. You know, like a guy your size, I'd say 1100 up from that point. You know, but if we had a young lady over the weekend, had to lie on her weight on the DMV form because she weighed 98 pounds.
Oh boy, not heavy enough.
And it's supposed to take 3 digits, right? So she became 100 pounds real quick. On her, because she was 5'3" and 100 pounds, we're going to recommend a 650. Probably the largest for her for a while, so she gets used to it. A lot of people will go buy specifically a 250cc motorcycle just to learn on, and I think that's great. You can usually get rid of those fairly easily. You won't be in it very long, because then you're going to want to go up and do some long rides. And on longer rides, you want a bike that's a little bit more comfortable to ride. So you're talking a 650 and up. I personally ride, mine's a 2000cc motorcycle, and it's very comfortable for me. I can handle it through the curves, not a big deal. But on my longer trips that I've been on, I like riding it because it's very comfortable, it has an intercom system, I can talk to my wife. There are a lot of things you can add to motorcycles to make it comfortable for you. You can add accessories to make it fit you better as well.
Now, first off, my wife is out there listening. We do have background notice because we're in a restaurant today and we have a live audience as we film from Bob and Luigi's. But I do want to put it on record that Mike recommended that I be riding an 1100 and up. So that means I need to increase the size of my bike. So Gary, you've been riding. What do you ride? What have you rode for?
Mine's a 1450, so it's like a 2000. We need to talk. That's a great size motorcycle.
Yeah. Some of the bikes that are out there, I mean, do you have any recommendations, or what do you recommend as far as quality brands? Or does it pretty much depend on the individual and what they want?
It kind of depends on the individual, what they want. We get a lot of, obviously, younger people come in and they want to do the sport bikes. I don't have anything against the sport bike. I had the dad talk with them at the end, tell them if I see you up on the highway popping a wheelie, we're going to have an issue. And I threaten them, I'll take their license away. They have to believe me that I can do that. I have that power, so that's kind of cool. And again, it depends on the individual. All the Kawasaki's, Yamaha, Suzuki's are all great motorcycles. They're all great motorcycles to ride. Maintenance-wise, there's not a lot to do with them. The Harleys have done really well in the last few years. You know, if I had the extra cash to spend, I would probably ride an Indian. All right, beautiful motorcycles. And as far as maintaining motorcycles, that's one thing at the beginning of the year you really want to pay attention to. Because most of the time, a lot of us don't ride in the wintertime. It's too cold, we have our 4 doors and we'll ride it. You know, it's a little bit more comfortable. I recommend, unless you're a certified mechanic, find a shop to take it to just to do a once over. It doesn't cost a lot to do that, and they'll find issues that you may not see. I checked mine in last year and did a once over. He adjusted the clutch, the throttle cable, he put a new tire on the back. Paid about $800 to get all that done, but I felt more comfortable knowing it was done and ready to go. They'll check bearings for you that you won't check.
What's the? I don't think I know the answer to this, but the one most important thing to check on a regular basis on a motorcycle that most people probably don't check, but they should.
Yeah, that was going to be your tires.
Yeah.
You really need to keep an eye on your tires. There are, on all motorcycle tires, there are wear bars in the tread. When you get close to that wear bar, it's time to replace that tire. Don't let it go much longer than that. I made that mistake one time, and I happened to be in
It's nice to know that you can
I know, right?
mistakes.
I made a mistake. But anyway, I happened to be in Fayetteville for that rally when I noticed it was way low and needed replaced. It's very expensive to replace a tire at a rally, let me tell you. A little cheaper to do it here in town, but I didn't have any choice at that point.
And I would say that, you know, if you're driving four wheels down the interstate at 70 miles an hour and you have a blowout, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
If you're on a motorcycle and you have a blowout at 70 miles an hour, that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal. Yeah, if you get a blowout, especially on the front, that's very dangerous. You're more than likely to go down. It's a little easier to control if you have your back one goes down. Really on that, if your back one goes down, we tell you to release the throttle. You know, don't brake real hard. Ease it over to the side of the road. Kind of let the bike slow down by itself. On the front, hang on. And that's tough.
And pray. While you're trying
pray
to control,
really hard.
while you're trying to control the bike.
Really hard.
We've all ridden quite a bit. I've ridden a lot more since I've had the class. I love my bike. What are some of the, Gary, you as well, what are some of the rides that you've gone, Gary, we'll start with you, some of the rides that you've gone that you really enjoy and what you've gotten out of that?
You know, one of the things that I really look forward to in the summertime was some sort of long distance trip, and long distance is probably anything over a couple hundred miles. But you grab a motel halfway through, or maybe you take a trip for a whole week. But you know, you can go through Colorado and up into Wyoming and back, and you know, or you can go the other way down to Kentucky and down to Arkansas. And if you really get crazy, you can go all the way out to North Carolina and do the Dragon's Tail. But that's 300 and some curves in, I believe, like 11 miles. Yeah, and that's more curves than this boy wants to ride.
Our buddy Joe, who's one of the instructors out at the Motorcycle Safety School, I remember Joe's going down to Florida. He goes all over the place. He's got, you see how that gold wing that he was driving before?
Yeah, he
probably has 100,000 miles in that crazy thing.
Did he have the black one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he still has that one. He goes, Joe rides everywhere. He's been in North Carolina in it, and just anywhere he wants to go. Joe's retired, so it's a little bit easier for him to do things. It's nothing for him to jump on his gold wing and ride down to Oklahoma and have pie and coffee. I mean, that's his big thing. He loves doing that.
Pioneer Power.
Yeah, he goes everywhere. I think, you know, my favorite long ride in the past that I've done, I had an opportunity with a relative getting married in Vegas. I got to ride from here to Vegas and back.
It's a beautiful trip. Yeah.
Gorgeous trip. And parts of the country that I have never been on. And when you're on a motorcycle, I think you notice it more than you do in a car. And I purposely took 2-lane roads most of the way. Route 66, I got off on it a little bit. Short amount of time, was very rough. They don't maintain it, so I got back up on the highway. But it's a beautiful part of the country. And what I noticed with being on the motorcycle and that Kansas tag on the back, I was by myself, and people would come up and talk to me. Hey, you're from Kansas, where you going? Wow, that's a long trip. But if you're in 2 or 3 more people, they won't talk to you. But by myself, I had a guy left the hotel one morning, and we spent 45 minutes while his wife's sitting there going, honey, we need to go.
But it's different people are going to be in different ways. I like being by myself when I ride. There's just that sense of solitude.
It is.
I compare it to being on a horse in the Old West.
Yeah.
That, you know, just I look at my motorcycle as my baby kind of, or as a horse or somebody that I'm with, and I love those times by myself. I enjoy group rides as well, but I enjoy those private rides. Locally, anything that you would recommend as far as just a local short trip that riders can take?
I wrote a couple down, and I have to cheat and look at my notes. There is, for a dinner ride, if you want to go to a nice steak dinner, the Lumber Yard in Zenda is really good. The Beechcraft Drifters I was a part of, would go out there quite often. If you go up to Abilene, there's the Brickville Hotel. It's a great place to eat. And then the place that I like is up in Williamsburg. It's just east of Topeka, and it's great barbecue. Fantastic, called Guy and May's.
What about you, Gary?
The Cattleman Restaurant down in Oklahoma City. It's down in the old part of town. It's got lots of character and history, and they got some steaks down there that just make your jaws tired.
We're in a pizza place. You
know. I know, right?
For me locally, I love that 177 between Cassidy and what's that little town, Cottonwood Falls.
Cottonwood Falls.
Now I will warn you, there's a little restaurant there in Cottonwood Falls. It's a pretty drive. You can do it in a half a day, pretty easy. Some nice little curves, beautiful scenery between there. And the only thing I will warn you of is if you go to Cottonwood Falls to eat, have cash. Don't take debit cards or credit card. So go there and enjoy that. So
Yeah, and that's the same thing with Williamsburg. They don't take checks or credit cards. You have to have cash.
that's one of the beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're out on the bike, and it enables you to go to some of those smaller communities that don't have all of the amenities that we think of.
It does, and it's really cool to be able to do that. And I agree with you, Mike. I like going out a lot of times by myself. The solitude. You can clear your head. You think. Still need to be aware of what's going on, right? But I love going out and doing those rides.
Some of the new helmets have the new devices, the Bluetooth devices.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about that?
I think the Bluetooth devices are great. Mine is still kind of a wired unit that I have in mind. What the Bluetooth allows you to do is it's just like your phone. There's no wires in between. I feel it's okay to listen to tunes while you're riding. Just keep the volume down so you can hear things around you. You want to blast into your ear anyway.
So they're coming with the speakers built into the helmet as opposed
Yeah,
to
speakers are built
earpiece.
into the helmet, and it's Bluetooth. You can run it off your phone out of your pocket. What I don't do on mine is I don't hook up the phone part. I will not take phone calls when I'm riding.
Yeah, it's probably a good rule of thumb whether you're driving in a car or
It's a fantastic rule of thumb.
I prefer a zero tolerance law would be passed, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Does Bluetooth work from rider to rider?
It will. Bluetooth will work from rider to rider. If they have Bluetooth as well, you can converse with the guy next to you. Rider passenger, same thing.
Again, though, we're
Great.
talking about speakers in the helmet as opposed to the earpiece.
Correct.
Because the earpiece will block off the background noise that you need to hear.
Right. The earpiece, because it goes in your ear canal, would block out the background noise. With the helmets with the built-in speaker, I mean, it's a little distance away from your ears, so you can, it keeps that. You're allowed to hear the background noise.
Any horror stories? I got one. You guys have any horror stories?
I got other people horror stories.
Yeah.
I got a lot of
I'm
those.
driving up north of 135, up near 21st Street, and there are 3 lanes. I'm in the center lane. I've got a semi to the left of me. One of the things I've learned, which is really important, is when I'm passing a semi, get by that semi. Don't lollygag around and get in their blind spot off, but get by them. And there's a semi to the left of me, and he's going at a pretty good clip. And there's a gal on her cell phone on the right lane and with her phone up right here. And so she just kind of starts to ease over, pushing me in towards that semi. And usually I can go like pick one.
Right.
I left no doubt in that particular occasion, and I'm grateful. Another accessory that a lot of people don't think about, I have a loud horn on my bike.
Yes.
And the benefit of having a loud horn.
Right.
Just touch on that.
Yeah, real quick on it. So most motorcycles come with a very low decibel horn. We really encourage you to go to an aftermarket horn. Get something that's really loud that sounds like that big air horn. They're electric, and there are a lot of them on the market that it will alert. If you do need to alert a car driver or anybody else, it'll make the sound. Because we let students blow the horn out on the motorcycles, out on the range.
You encourage it, yeah.
Neat, and that's all you hear. If you're in your car, you won't hear that.
Yeah, and like if you've got that air horn sound, it makes you think you're running into
There's a Freightliner next to you.
Yes, sounds like a big diesel.
Gary, any kind of horror stories for you or any thoughts to close out with?
The only horror story I had was on the Kellogg 500. I was riding to work one morning when it was still dark. It was, 6 o'clock in the morning, it was still dark. And this lady turns out from the left-hand side of the road, cuts me off in front of me. And of course I was paying attention and I saw her coming, but I had to slow way down. And then when she got in front of me, she quickly pulled over into the right-hand lane. And I thought, well, now I can come up and bang on her window. Well, I didn't bang on her window, but I did give her a finger pointing like a dad would scold somebody. And she said, I'm sorry. But at least I didn't get splattered all over the concrete.
Hey, this is Mike Furchess again with you. What an honor and pleasure to get to host Real People, Real Life. I really want to thank the guests today that we had, Big Mac Combo, that first segment, and then Elliot and Rebecca, the owners of Bob and Luigi's, the restaurant that we're doing the program.
What was the restaurant?
Bob and Luigi's at 45th and Woodlawn, but especially, the last half of the show, we've had Mike Vermillion with us, and I really want to thank him as well. And I want to encourage the folks that are watching today, man, take that safety class, be careful, enjoy your bikes. It's a beautiful gift, it's a great thing to enjoy, but be careful, be safe. And I want to thank you all for tuning in today to Real People, Real Life, and tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great day. God bless.